This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, it's just one big geek news story after another. The Justice League Snyder Cut is coming to HBO Max. Ruby Rose quits Batwoman. Robert Pattinson refuses to work out for his Batman movie. Christopher Nolan releases a new Tenet trailer with actual details about the film. And Joe Rogan is moving his show exclusively to Spotify.
Geekerific!
And if that's not enough, listener, we've got a review of the latest DC animated universe movie, Justice League Dark, Apokolips War, and lots of great feedback and comments from you, the listener. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, May 21st, 2020.
Hey, this is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast with your hosts, Anthony, Imran, and Rug Boy. Remember, Batman's got your back.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we heard it. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we heard it. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we heard it. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we heard it. We're spoiler alert. Give it up.
Hey, what's happening, listener? Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us is the puppet that is a badder mofo than Thanos and Darkseid combined. Of course, it's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
What's up, motherfuckers? I'm back.
That's right, Ruggs. You fart and half of the eastern seaboard just wiped out.
You know that I farted so loud once in my sleep?
Yes.
And it woke me up, and it was still going for like quite a long time. And I remember at the end of it, I was like, I missed the whole beginning of that fart.
Your farts are deadly, Ruggs, and just like the Rona, they don't discriminate. It'll take you down. Doesn't matter who you are.
That's right.
I don't think a mask will help you. How's your guys' week been, you guys?
My week?
Yeah, how's your week since we last spoke?
I am anticipating, I guess when this comes out, it'll have been already Memorial Day weekend, but
yes.
I am looking forward to having a little day or two off here. And I do have to say, although the last few shows have been fun,
yes,
it is nice that we're returning to our roots and talking about comic book stuff.
Right. Remember we talked about comic book movies and superhero and guys in tights? You've seen the title of this. We are going to return to that. Ruggs, how was your week?
My week was trying to watch The Raid.
Ah, yes.
Raid 2.
For Seth Morgan for a Patreon review, which will be a free one.
That's the longest movie about karate I've ever seen. I mean, it's not even karate. It's like
Muay Thai, you fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Calling him out.
I haven't even seen the movie, but
no, but it's Malaysian, I believe. It's a long ass movie. So I watched it in parts, and I felt like it was like never ending. In fact, it was so long that I started watching it on Amazon, and then the rental went out.
Oh, no.
After 48 hours, and I'm like, I still have a half hour of this movie I gotta watch.
You need to rent the movie twice to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Well, look, I hope everyone is going to enjoy the Memorial Day. I'm sure everyone's itching to get outside, but I had a fucking hell of a week. I just need to vent for a second. I know nobody cares.
I care.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. Last week, it rained so fucking hard here where we live in suburban Chicago, 4 inches in 24 hours, that despite having a flood control system on the house, I had fucking rain seepage coming through in the basement, but where the wall and the floor meet, you know, somehow getting through there and all this water and the carpet gets wet and I got to get a fucking shop vac and a fan and it's a whole thing. And then
welcome to homeownership.
Yes, it's the worst thing ever. Don't do it, listener. Never buy the home. It's horrible. But that was not bad enough. On top of that, last Saturday, my mom spills boiling hot water on her foot.
Oh, no.
Resulting in a 2nd-degree burn.
Oh shit.
A trip to the ER. I'm all messed up with her in the ER waiting room. I'm fucking bobbing and weaving like Muhammad Ali, trying not to catch the Rona. I'm like, I'm over here now. I'm gonna go sit over here now. I don't know what the fuck's going on in here.
Are you paranoid now that you have it?
No, well, whatever. I think I have enough antibodies to fight off anything at this point. I've done so many.
You haven't been able to fight off the white skin.
No, the white skin loves me. That's never going away. But so I got a fucking water in the basement over here. I got a goddamn burn victim over here. I really need this podcast this week, guys. That's all that is to say.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. And here we go. Let's do it to it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
We got to start out with the big crazy news. Holy shit. Zack Snyder's Justice League Cut is a thing. It's coming to HBO Max. Here is my reaction in a series of sound clips.
Oh, shit.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Wow. Let me break down.
I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Yes, let me break down the details, and I want your reactions to this, fellas. This was announced during a Man of Steel watch party he hosted earlier this week, and Henry Cavill popped in. Everyone was hanging out with him. The movie will debut on HBO Max that launches later this week, May 27th, on 2021. So next year, it may either be a 4-hour director's cut or maybe
4 hours.
a 6-chapter miniseries, TV miniseries style.
That could be cool.
How did
4 hours.
How did this happen? Hold on, just restrain yourself. I know there's a whole bunch of.
Oh, shit.
This happened during the film's second anniversary. If you guys all remember, the hashtag release the Snyder Cut went huge. And became the most tweeted hashtag for a Warner Brothers movie that was never released of all time, which is weird. This gets the attention of Warner Brothers chairman Toby Emmerich. He kind of caves to this pressure. He calls Zack Snyder, tells him to get things moving. They will be adding new and finishing old visual effects for the Snyder Cut. They are getting the post-production crew and the composers to return to score new music, do more post-production, and some of the actors may return to record new dialogue.
Oh, shit.
ADR style. This will estimately cost them $20 to $30 million to finish the movie. Zack Snyder says in this article from The Hollywood Reporter, it will be an entirely new thing, even though he has admittedly never watched the Joss Whedon version of Justice League. He says, you saw a quarter of what I did. In February, he screened this cut to Warner Brothers executives, and apparently at the end, they all looked around at each other and realized all their mother's names were Martha. And they were like, let's do this. This is a good idea. And then when COVID hit, it actually kind of helped this because visual effects houses were losing a lot of work. It was the perfect time for him to give them work and finish this movie. Now, I'm sure everyone knows the fucking backstory of the whole drama behind this movie in 2017. The movie came out 3 years ago. Zack Snyder's daughter commits suicide during the movie. He steps away. Joss Whedon comes in, finishes it, giving us a weird Frankenstein vanilla Justice League. Holy shit, Anthony, comment.
First off, I'll say, although I don't feel like I fully have to apologize, I was saying that a Snyder Cut did not exist.
It technically didn't.
It still doesn't exist because they need 20 to 30 million to finish this thing.
Correct. He said he just had this cut on his hard drive when he left, and it's just been sitting there. So there was no finished thing ever.
It doesn't really exist. Now, as far as like all the fandom and all that, I think this played a part, but I think this was a perfect storm of the fact that coronavirus hit.
Yeah.
HBO Max is releasing a new streaming platform this month, I believe, right?
This week, May 27th. Yes.
This week.
It will be out.
They need buzz.
Yep.
And I'm sure a lot of their original content has been put on hold.
Yep.
And why not play up on one of the biggest fandoms in the world, so superhero comics, the fact that this hashtag was huge, the fact that there's a lot of disappointment over Justice League, and the fact that they just need to drum up more buzz because they're releasing something. They gotta do something to make people talk. This is it. So 20 to 30 million on something that they don't need to do a ton of work on in terms of like the acting is already there. They don't need to like create this new project and have all these actors come in. Like, they could probably piecemeal it together. So
damn sure Ben Affleck ain't coming back for anything for this. He's probably
Never say never. You said never to this.
That's true. Ruggs, is this
Geek boner.
or
Floppy John.
what's your reaction?
Well, listen, you know how I feel about movies.
Yes.
And
how do you feel? You hate them all.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
suck.
I feel like that
Fuck that show.
I feel like that if it is a creative vision, that it should be allowed to happen. I
Sure.
feel like that a lot of these movies are milquetoast and vanilla because
Yep.
of all of the meddling that happens and all of this kind of like stuff that happens that at the studio executive level. So, Zack Snyder, you love him or you hate him, he's still a guy that makes what he wants to make. I applaud that, even though like I hated Batman versus Superman, I still like applaud that it was his vision.
Yeah.
And he went after it. So creatively, I have respect for him.
Yeah.
And I would like to see him, even if he's gonna fail, let him fail with dignity. Someone took his movie and put it out and changed it all, a whole shitload of it. So that's like, to me, that's something that as an artist, I would probably be like not cool with.
Yeah.
I have to just real quick, Imran.
Yeah.
I have to echo Ruggs' thoughts.
Yeah.
I absolutely despise Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
I hate the direction it was going in. But I am curious to see the guy's vision. Even if I think it'll probably suck in 4 hours. Oh my God, who's gonna sit there? What the fuck? 4 hours?
I say go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
But I want to see what he had in mind.
I mean,
Even though I know I'm probably not gonna like it.
at least the film will have a perspective, a point of view, instead of
An
just being
identity.
vanilla. An identity, yes.
Like, if this gets me a mustacheless
Yes,
Superman
yes.
and like a non-weird lip Superman and whatever, like I know that he's going to be like mean Superman for a lot of it. We'll get more Cyborg, definitely.
Well, Ruggs.
Well, you're going to have a lot every 4 hours.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of people asking, what can we expect from this cut? Now, if you remember the early trailers, there was a ton of stuff that never made it. Yes, you're going to get a lot of backstory for all the characters. You're going to get a lot more
backstory.
dark backstory. You're going to see a lot more evil Superman. Darkseid is going to be in the fucking movie.
Geek boner.
And remember, originally it was going to be like a 2-parter or a 3-parter.
It's supposed to be a 2-parter, yeah.
It was supposed to be a 2-parter, so the finished movie was 2 hours. He had a 3-hour cut before he went to 2 hours, but he's got an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of uncut shit he can put back in there. Will it be exactly his vision? Probably not 100%, but probably 90%. And I kind of want to see it. I can't wait for all the fucking polar divisive debates that's going to happen when this comes out.
I think inevitably everyone's going to love it just because they've been asking for it for so long.
Vindicated. So this brings up my next question. Guys, the fans kind of did make this happen with this Release the Snyder Cut hashtag campaign, but is that a good thing? Does this set a dangerous precedent?
I think that does it set a precedent? Not really. I think that this is a very specific case. It's only happened maybe 2 other times that I know of with these movies of David Ayer. They took away Suicide Squad from him.
He's
and
already asking. David Ayer's like, I want to do my Suicide Squad cut now.
Oh,
he
no.
cut out like all of the Jared Leto
It's
stuff.
already happening.
I think that it's not going to be like, I think in a case where like movies have been wrestled away from directors and everybody knows that it was fucked up by the
Is
establishment.
Josh Trank going to want to have a fucking Trank cut of fantastic?
Oh, no.
I don't think anyone's clamoring for it.
Well,
Like if if people were like, oh, that was an injustice and that he should get another shot at it. Like, I think that this is the weird thing. Like when you have a lot of them, like, let's say I feel bad for the guy who played Cyborg, right? Because he went in, he filmed all this stuff and he was like really excited and all of it ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yep.
And
That's why he's into this Snyder Cut. He's like, hell yeah, let's do this. Like,
yeah. So, why not?
there's going to be more Momoa and Atlantis. There's more of everything, basically.
Like the movie already came out.
Yeah.
So it's like not really harming anything.
And if between a 4-hour director's cut or 6 chapters, just give me the fucking 4-hour. It's
Well,
fine.
if anything, it's going to get people to subscribe to HBO Max.
Fuck yeah. They're going to get mad subscribers.
As far as that question, I mean, we have seen it on a different scale, but we did see the fans overrule the terrible Sonic and make the movie change the Sonic, the look of Sonic. So I think I agree with Ruggs, though. It's a unique scenario in that Zack Snyder also had his daughter commit suicide. This doesn't happen. But I think I read some stuff, though, where the studio was already kind of forcing Zack Snyder's hand to change some stuff because of the disappointment with Batman. So
he got to spin it that way, like they were already fucking with him.
Yeah, he got an easy out. Well, I don't even want to say that.
Not easy, but
it's not easy.
Yes.
He had something happen to him.
No one's going to question him after that. Yeah. But look, to me, I think this is a dangerous precedent. I think on the one hand, the message being sent by this is if you bully, bitch, and moan enough, chances are the studio might not only hear you, but agree with you.
Oh, shit.
And like I said, David Ayer, I've seen articles already. He's like, I want to redo my fucking movie. Like, I think in this case, it's fine because it's been 3 years. But
do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think Star Wars fandom will rise up and be like,
the J.J. Abrams cut of fucking Rise of Skywalker? Yes.
Oh, I was going with
the Lucas cut. You mean
the Gareth Edwards cut of Rogue One?
The end of that, yeah. Why not put all these?
The Lord and Miller cut of Han Solo.
Give me a whole nother Lord and Miller movie that was shot. And
there's a lot of movies that this is happening with, but it's
is this a trend
I just
now?
think about what's in the can. That's what I'm thinking about. What's already shot?
Yeah.
If there is another movie shot out there, then assembling it and putting it out isn't that much of a big deal.
There is. On the one hand, I'm kind of annoyed that Warner Brothers caved to this, but on the other hand, I could see their point of view.
I didn't know about this $20-30 million like reinvestment into the movie. That's weird.
Yep.
But I think since this is the biggest one, it makes sense. For them to let's say they need to put a couple $1 million into the editing or whatever, and the soundtrack or whatever, that's fine. That's not a really big investment. They have to
finish visual effects, which is very pricey.
Yeah. So that's where you get the $30 million.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
I attribute just in a kind of a big picture. I know fans will want to see the director's cuts, but I also think fans need to realize that when directors get involved in projects that have huge IPs and lots of money behind them,
it's a lot of pressure.
There's not only that pressure, but you don't always get to put out exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's a losing. It's one of the things when you're getting involved in the tentpole franchise film.
Yep.
They have a vision, they have a product, they have things, and
they got toys.
They used to rely on directors to figure shit out for them, but now that there's a model, and that there's a bunch of different successes in different genres. They kind of know what to do.
Yeah.
And they've been able to make a science out of it to a degree. Once that's involved, once you start distilling what an artist does into science and you start monetizing it and putting charts and graphs and shit
called
and getting
formulaic filmmaking.
Yeah.
Corporate filmmaking.
Yeah. So now you're doing corporate shit.
Yeah.
So if you're getting involved with that comes with the territory.
I mean, I think also the fact that I can sit at home and watch this 4 hours at my leisure, or I can just stop it. That's fine with me. Let's see
What am I watching? The English Patient?
Yes. No, you're watching fucking Das Boot. I mean, that's The Irishman was long, 6 chapters. I don't know. This is fucking crazy. I am still shocked that we're getting this.
It would be different. It would give you something to watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This does. I mean, we're already going to have HBO Max, but if I was paying for it on my own, it would make me more intrigued for that month to be like, let me grab this.
Oh, fuck yeah. I don't think it can be worse than the original movie, though. Could it?
It could, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. But I'm waiting to see that shit, like a bad car accident. Or something,
no shit.
At least I want to see it.
The original movie didn't everyone watched it and forgot about it. But Batman v Superman, whether you loved it or hate it, it made an impression.
It makes people mad or they love it.
So this one could also do that same thing.
Same thing with kind of Man of Steel, but you got to appreciate that he puts his point of view in there and he sticks to it. So I kind of want to see how he wanted to.
But there are people that love that movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There are people that love Man of Steel.
Look, the BVS director's cut just marginally better, but that's about all.
It improves it a little bit.
Listener, let us know what you think of all this craziness. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It is exclusive. It's closed just for you, just for us. You can hang out with us and all our awesome listeners. I got to welcome this week some new members to the group. Welcome to the Adulting with Donnie podcast.
Ooh.
Oh, is that his first name?
Yes, that's his whole legal name.
Oh.
Welcome to Pat Downey and welcome to Bruce O. Hughes. And I was able to actually capture the answers to Bruce's questions to get into the group. He found us because his podcast recommended us on his phone. Nice. He wants to join because he likes the conversations on the podcast, doesn't want to miss anything. Nice. Who's your favorite host? Rug Boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's another one, isn't it? Isn't it? Join the group and geek out with us, listener. Moving on, we got a lot of crazy DC news here after one season of Batwoman on the CW, and after it has been renewed for a season 2, and days after the season 1 finale, Ruby Rose said she is parting ways with the series.
Oh, shit.
But later, details coming out, she initially made it sound like I'm stepping away from this. And then some more tidbits came out saying that, yeah, maybe it wasn't completely her decision. Maybe more it was a mutual decision. She was not happy there, which means that people she worked with are probably not happy. They weren't happy with her, blah, blah, blah. So maybe not 100% her decision. Fact is, she is leaving the show. They're going to need to recast. And I can't think of another TV show that has lost its lead after the first season and had to recast. I don't think.
Can I? Because I have very minimal thoughts.
Yes,
I never watched it.
Anthony.
I have 2 thoughts.
Yeah.
Number one, I was familiar with Ruby Rose
Yes.
because I go to Vegas a lot.
Yeah.
And she was
DJs there?
DJing
Of course she
a
does.
nighttime pool party that I was thinking about going to. So that's number one.
But you never went, so you never saw her?
I didn't go.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Number 2,
Yeah.
I saw her on that crossover you made me watch, which I fucking hated.
Yeah.
And she was very dry.
She's
That's all I got.
okay, and she's in the John Wick. She's not bad in that. Ruggs, comment?
I was just saying, like, I feel like she took a gamble, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna be Batwoman. I'm gonna join the Arrowverse when it's on its way out.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the
when it's
Arrowverse,
dying.
everyone
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
that it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like the people who are watching it now
People
are
watch
like
the
people
show, though.
people watch the show, yes, but there's people like no one's like saying, "Oh, how good it is." They're just like, "Oh, it's on."
No.
Like everything else, it's on.
Yeah.
You know, like like it's a show that's on that nobody really talks about as a benchmark or anything. So she's not on a hot show that's going to make her career. She's kind of like on a show on a Arrowverse that's sinking every year
Yes.
into oblivion.
Yes.
So she probably took a gamble, realized that it was probably not a good move, and then it was probably like not into being on the show anymore and just didn't put her all in. And that's probably what happened. It ended up probably just eroding the relationship.
I've seen maybe a handful of episodes of Batwoman, and then I was like, I bailed because it wasn't really hooking me. She's kind of a little wooden, stiff, one note on the show. They just did, they had Hush on the show, and it looked like Hush from the comic book, so they're doing some weird things. But it sounds like, she wants to focus on a film career. If you want to focus on a film career, being locked in for a show that could last 5 to 7 seasons.
Yeah, don't be a lead character.
Yes, probably you don't want to do that. And it's a fucking serial show like this is really hard. I mean, we've heard from Bilotti, they're 16-hour days, on average all the time. It takes a lot out. You give a lot of your time. You can make movies. So,
I just think if it was high profile, she would suck it up.
If it was getting some good buzz and it was
but it's not. It's really not doing anything for her. She's not really changing the game and getting people to watch. It's kind of like a wash. So it's like now she's like, am I going to waste my next 5 or 6 years on this?
There's also tons of other female actors who would love to do this job and would probably do a way better job than she was doing. Easily.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried, but they're going ahead with season 2. So sticking with the Batman theme here. I read this really lengthy, interesting article from GQ with Robert Pattinson, our new Matt Reeves Batman. And he said a couple of things that were interesting in the sense of how he was going about doing this movie. So they were in production and they had to go in quarantine. And the whole article, he comes off as kind of like, as you'd expect, like this artistic, loner, weird guy. He was like, quarantine is perfect for me. I'm already fucking like that, so it was no problem.
I mean, if you've seen The Lighthouse,
Yes, yeah.
he's a weird motherfucker in that movie.
Yeah, which is why I was interested in this article, because he went from the Twilight movies to these really kind of brainy indie movies. Yeah, so why would he choose to be Batman, which is almost career suicide if you don't do it right? Like, that's a huge gamble. So one thing he mentioned is about his training, and I thought this was interesting. The film studio hired a trainer, and the trainer left him a Bosu ball, a single weight, and a plea to use both. But he says he's ignoring the plea. He says, quote, "I think if you're working out all the time, you're part of the problem." And
Yeah, Anthony.
by you, he means the other actors. He says, quote, "You set a precedent. No one was doing this in the 70s, even James Dean. He wasn't exactly ripped." Meanwhile, Zoe Kravitz is over there exercising 5 days a week. And he's like, literally, I'm just barely doing anything. Anthony,
You gotta hope, Imran.
yes, you could be a skinny fat guy and be Batman. I mean, are you excited for like a lithe, thin, not toned Batman? Does he
understand what Batman actually does?
like Bruce Wayne should be ripped? I guess.
No, I don't think he should be ripped, but I just think just from the activity that he does,
Yeah,
like
he would be toned.
Like soldiers don't work out,
Oh,
right?
right,
They
right.
don't sit there and
Good point.
pump iron,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just the daily shit that they do, they have to be in some kind of shape.
Yes.
You know, like he's a soldier. He goes out there. He fucking is rappelling off the side of buildings. He's fucking sneaking into stuff. He's jumping on people. He's splitting heads.
Yeah.
You know, like that shit's gonna it's gonna be an athletic demand of your body. So you have to at least be prepared, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that he compares himself to the 70s. I mean, yeah, no, the people weren't ripped, but also that body would not be believable as Batman, because Batman is supposed to be a human weapon. And if you look at any like UFC fighter, they are very ripped.
Yeah, just from fighting. Yeah.
He should probably try to get ripped.
The guy doesn't seem like he wants to exercise in quarantine.
Batman is supposed to be like the peak of human capability.
But if they're doing like a different, like a detective noir version, maybe it's not necessary. You got all that armor plating on you anyways. Like, I understand it's hard for like the Hugh Jackmans and these guys to get ripped, stay ripped for these movies. It's a lot of work.
Well, think about it practically though. Like if he's wearing all that equipment and stuff,
yeah,
he's got to be in really good physical condition to run around like that.
I just don't like people trying to justify not being in shape when it's part of your job.
It kind of is also part of
like
his job. Yes.
If you're like, if Batman was just a guy that sat behind a computer, no, he doesn't have to be ripped. But like, he's basically like a UFC fighter, like all the time.
Yeah,
he has to beat people up.
I thought, pick up a fucking kettlebell there, Pattinson. What are you doing?
Like, is this kind of Batman? He just goes and leaves the clues, and the cops do all the mopping up. He just like calls the cops. He goes, "Oh, the guy's in this building. This is your friendly neighborhood Batman."
I found them
and
for you. Go this way.
Yeah,
it's
like,
just
he doesn't get involved.
Well, so that brings me to the second interesting thing I found in this article, which is what Matt Reeves is trying to do with this movie to set it apart from all the other Batman movies, and what Pattinson is thinking about in his performance, trying to set it apart. He says, "I kind of like the fact that not only are there very, very well done versions of the character, which seem pretty definitive, but I was thinking there are multiple definitive planes of the character. Like, where is the gap? You've seen this sort of lighter version. You've seen kind of a jaded version, a kind of a more animalistic version, and the puzzle of it becomes quite satisfying to think, where's my opening? Do I have anything inside me which would work if I could do it?" So I like that they're looking to make this different. I read another article with Jeffrey Wright saying the fucking Batmobile is a badass muscle car, and this is very different. This is very different than any other Batman movie. It's the next evolution of Batman. So that got me fucking geek boner. Pretty excited for this whenever it fucking comes out.
Yeah. It's
hard to be excited about anything that we don't know when.
I just feel like that there was such good buzz going on this guy.
Yeah.
Like people were like totally like going, "Oh yeah, he's a good actor," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he just basically tells everybody who gave him all of this goodwill, go fuck themselves.
I'm not gonna work out. It's not necessary.
I want to
I'm
look
not
like
gonna-
60s Batman.
I'm Sherlock Holmes, not Batman. I'm just gonna be Sherlock Holmes.
The little
I'm gonna be
pooch is sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna solve crimes.
Like Sherlock Holmes doesn't need to be ripped, yet Downey Jr. was ripped for Sherlock Holmes, so they even fucking pulled it into that. But like Sherlock is not supposed to be ripped. He's part Sherlock. I don't know. you should probably pick up a fucking kettlebell. That's all.
If Robert Downey Jr. is more ripped as Sherlock than he is as Batman, we got a fucking problem.
I think you're right, Ruggs.
Lame.
Yes, that's interesting. All right, let's
Not funny.
Not funny.
Not funny.
I had that one. All right, let's talk about some cool fucking shit coming to Netflix this month, next month, starting with Spike Lee's next movie, The Five Bloods, gets an official
Early Oscar buzz on this one.
Oh, look at Mr. Oscar over here.
Big Oscar guy. This
Anthony,
is the first one on the radar
Oscar.
for me.
Holy shit. Well, Mr. Oscar guy, what do you see in this trailer that makes you think it's Oscar worthy?
Well, first off, you have, as far as making it Oscar worthy, you have a director that's been nominated for Oscars,
Fuck
Spike
yeah.
Lee. You have a period film
Yep.
that probably is going to comment on what's going on today.
Yep. Draw parallels, yeah.
And the fact that there's not a ton of movies maybe coming out this year, so you got that. As far as the trailer, did you all watched it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that Jimi Hendrix?
No.
What was the song?
The music.
It's
No.
it's this. It's Time. Time.
Okay.
It's not Jimi Hendrix. It's
Not Jimi Hendrix.
that guy. That was like one hit. That was like the one hit that guy had in the '60s.
Okay.
But that is a big '60s trippy song. As far as I love the way that it looks. I like how they're using some footage. Like it looks like they're using actual Vietnam footage.
Well, they're shooting the past footage in like a different film rate or a frame rate or whatever to make it look like it's from the war, and then
So the
modern footage
story
is the modern.
being this troop going back to Vietnam to find buried treasure. So you got flashbacks. You got the amazing Delroy Lindo in this, who always collaborates with Spike Lee. He's fucking great. And then you have Chadwick Boseman playing the younger version.
Yeah,
of
there's
one of them.
4 guys that go back,
Yeah.
and Chadwick Boseman, I believe, plays the 5th guy from their crew that died in the war.
Oh, and they're going back to find some gold. This looks fucking tight. Ruggs, what did you think?
I think it looks really good. I think it looks so interesting. I like Delroy Lindo a lot.
Delroy Lindo's great.
What about
Yeah.
Spike Lee joints?
Spike
like
Lee
Spike
joints are
Lee
the best joints
joints.
to smoke.
I like Vietnam films.
Yeah.
So I like commentaries on life now and then, because it seems like they're going back to that time, and there's a comparison happening, and they're talking about like now and then. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be something that's going to be worth checking out. So
Coming out June 12th, you can probably expect some good music, just like you saw in the trailer, to go along. Good 60s fucking.
Nothing like a Spike
60s.
Lee joint.
Nothing like a Spike Lee joint. And this,
I would know. Big Oscar.
So,
guy.
like, trend is amazing, Anthony. Like, the new Spike Lee movie coming out on Netflix. I just saw another article. Tom Hanks' next movie is a World War II movie. It's coming out on Apple TV Plus.
Oh shit.
was it the sequel to Saving Private Ryan?
I don't know. It may be.
He died in that
Yes,
movie.
I don't think it's a sequel. It's called Greyhound, and also Apple TV Plus needs fucking some buzz and people. So, but this is becoming like a crazy trend. All these big movies coming out on these streamers. It's good for people stuck at home. And I got 2 trailers here of 2.
I got something to say real quick
Yes.
about these streaming platforms.
Yes.
I think it's smart that because some movies just aren't made to do well at theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes it's smart for directors or directors, and then find a producer to maybe like decipher. Maybe this movie isn't for the wide audience. Maybe this is better on a streaming platform.
Plus, I think you
Just
have less.
food for thought.
You have less restrictions. It doesn't have to hit a certain time. You can kind of do whatever you want. Largely, these are like unrated too. So, yeah.
it does open up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, there's a lot more freedom creatively, and
There's a lot more pressure when you go
yeah.
the theater route.
Yeah, when you got an opening weekend, you have to focus on. You got to get people out there. It's crazy. There's so many.
I know
things.
a lot about movies now. You know?
Yeah, you're Mr. Oscar. That jock.
By the
Mr.
way, that
Oscar.
song is not Jimi Hendrix. It's the Chambers Brothers.
Chambers Brothers. And what's it called? What was the title?
Time.
It's just Time. Yeah, it's a great fucking song. Have you ever heard that song, Anthony?
I've heard it before,
Dude,
but
classic.
that trailer.
There's a
I
point.
think we used it for like our yearbook thing.
So there's a point in that song that it slows down and you hear a ticking clock and it crescendos down and then it comes back up. It's really good. It's so fucking trippy. It's great 60s psychedelic rock. So, anyways, more action movies coming to Netflix because, fellas, after Extraction, everybody and their mother now wants to make a shoot-'em-up action movie in warehouses where there's glass breaking and people getting hurt and explosions. And this is what we got in these next two trailers. But these are both two movies that are based on graphic novels. The first one is called The Last Days of American Crime. And actually, Bruce O. Hughes, new listener, turned me on to this. This is based on a graphic novel created by Rick Remender and Greg Tocchini. The concept of this one is very interesting. The government has figured out in the not too distant future a way to send a signal, an audio signal. And once this is sent, nobody will ever be able to commit a crime knowingly or any unlawful act. Once, as a final response to terrorism and crime, they're going to send out the signal, no more crime. So, bunch of these guys who haven't had a big score, they get together, they want to do the last big American crime, steal some money. You guys check out this trailer. What did you think from the trailer?
Rugs?
I didn't see it because everyone told me not to watch.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's exactly like the next trailer we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay. Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, it's all, the concept is kind of interesting, but it's just, I mean, it's a shoot 'em up movie in a warehouse. And yeah, I watched it and it left my mind immediately after I watched it.
Big name in this one, Charlton Copley. In the movie. The next one, that one I dug. I'm gonna check that out. This next one, that's coming out June 5th. This next one is really interesting. Also based on a graphic novel by Greg Rucka and Leandro Fernandez. It's called The Old Guard, starring Charlize Theron and Chiwetel Ejiofor leading this one. And this one about a team of mercenaries who are immortal, cannot die, and now they're suddenly in this, social media pictures world, are kind of exposed, and they got to fight to keep their identity a secret and do their missions. This one, again, looked like the last one. A lot of shooting, Anthony. A lot of cool gunplay. But I kind of dig these two action movies. What'd you think of The Old Guard, you guys?
Rug Boy?
I feel like they're like invincible, but Twitter can take them down.
Yes, exactly. a cell phone will take them down.
Doxing.
Which you see him do. But, I mean, Charlize looks good. The action looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, this might seem like I'm being a little sexist, but it's like the femme fatale, Black Widow, this invincible girl type movie.
Well, she was in Atomic Blonde, which I probably was a very similar kind of role.
Where she's this amazing assassin that's perfect. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's good action.
It's funny because the reason why people are like, well, they make movies with guys that are invincible too, but like, how about they make her beat up all girls? They don't make movies of guys just beat up women all the time. They just don't. I mean,
I will. Let me piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, the best woman fighter is not going to beat the best male fighter. Like this, I've watched enough UFC to know.
Oh, we're gonna get some tweets on that one.
Yeah, it's not realistic. It just doesn't happen.
Well,
I'm enjoying, but it's fine though. I can escape in the movies.
I just think it's funny. I mean, I don't really mind. Listen, I love female action stars. I love female action, but I just think it's funny that it's like, well, you make movies with guys killing a bunch of people. Yeah, they're killing a bunch of guys.
Actually, that is a good point. It'd be interesting to see like a bunch, like her beating up a woman army.
Yeah,
I mean, John Wick fought girls in the John Wick's movies. He kills them.
Well, yeah, because he's a man. He could kill women.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The other way around.
But it's not all women all the time.
Charlize still is smoking hot, and she looks badass. July 10th. This one will hit Netflix. Now,
Netflix is just like...
Dude, they're like just... And I heard Jessica Alba...
Extraction over and over.
I heard Jessica Alba is making an action movie, too. Now they're like, anyone who has an idea for an action movie, they're throwing money. Here you go. Here's $90 million.
Mocha Angel.
Oh, yes. That's Jessica Alba's new movie.
I feel like we're back with the way Netflix is producing movies.
Yeah.
I feel like we're like back in the mid 90s where it was just like produce any action movie and it'll sell.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I get Netflix.
R-rated action is
yes,
back.
I will. Fuck yeah. I missed this
on
shit.
Netflix.
That should be their plug to sell Netflix. R-rated action because dude, give me this all day. I'll take it. Fuck it. great.
Just make True Lies over and over and
over again, just which is what it is. Every movie, Extraction, all of these. But look, so I wasn't worried about you guys watching those trailers because we have to all now watch this trailer that just got released moments ago. It is
big Oscar buzz.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. Oscar. Fucking hell.
Oh, shit.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
Look, the new trailer for the crazy, mysterious Chris Nolan movie Tenet that Pattinson is also in. The dude from Black Klansman is the lead. This is the movie that was supposed to bring everyone back to the
Denzel
theaters.
Washington's son.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that.
Also, a podcast I listen to in a bunch of forums now that I follow, The Big Picture. This is supposed to be the movie that's going to save theaters.
Yes. Well, we'll get to that after the reaction because there's some interesting things. But you guys, this finally tells you what this movie is, and it's exciting. It's Nolan. We're going to take a time jump here. Click on the trailer, watch it. See you on the other side.
Talking nerd.
Okay, big Oscar buzz on this bad boy here. So before you guys comment, in that GQ article, they asked him about Tenet, Robert Pattinson, and all he could say that he was approved to say was the movie is not about time travel. And it's not, but it kind of is. It's apparently about time inversion, the ability to control time reversal. This trailer is sick. Ruggs, let's start with you. What are your reactions?
It looks like a modern day version of Prince of Persia, the movie.
Ooh, what? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, if you ever played Prince of Persia, that's exactly what you do with your powers. Is that you
It's
can
the
rewind shit
reversal.
as
Yeah.
you inverse time. Yeah.
Cool. I see a little bit of all his movies in this. I see a little Dark Knight. I see a little Inception. I see a little Dunkirk. Anthony, comment.
I mean, it's a cool trailer. It's the type of trailer where, I mean, he's built up enough goodwill where he can throw out a trailer like that and people will be excited. So
absolutely.
But it's the type of trailer where you're like, I kind of get it, but I want to watch the movie and like figure it out. Sort of like Inception, right?
Same vibes.
Same exact vibe. If I can read it correctly, it seems like you can invert moments in time as your time is going forward. But it's definitely a movie that you're going to have to like watch and then figure out.
Is it like a time bubble that exists that you can only go back so far, but nothing else is affected?
You're still moving forward.
Yeah.
You can just do things with time.
That's crazy. You see guys like running up the side of the building, and then the part where he sees the bullet holes, he goes, "That hasn't happened yet," and then you see it all reversing. I don't know. The action looks sick. The way it's shot looks sick. It's Nolan, so you know you're in for a ride. I'm excited.
I mean, I don't think you can really get it all in a trailer. I think you don't want to give a lot away.
No, but I think this is a great trailer to get people jazzed about this.
This is like the turn, and then when we go to the theater, we'll see the Prestige.
The Prestige.
Which is the finish.
So here's what I found the most interesting, Anthony, to your comment. This was supposed to be the movie that was going to be the big comeback, Save Hollywood, the comeback to theaters. They had stuck to their July 17th date, right? And even in the description of this YouTube trailer, it still says 7/17. Now, two things I noticed. I saw on Twitter, the Tenet Twitter account removed the date from their bio, and at the end of this trailer, all it says is coming to theaters.
Oh, shit.
I don't think it's coming out July 17th.
Yeah, at this point, it's just tough for it to make the money it wants to make in theaters with how different areas are going to be, social distancing. I think they were kind of thinking that maybe like word of mouth and maybe this being like the only new movie,
right?
That like it'll have a long run. But I think they're more leaning towards theaters right now might not be an option. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with this.
This is like Chris Nolan saying, I will single-handedly save all the movie theaters.
Oh, shit.
Here it is.
Do you think that the music from the trailer is from the movie or is it from Tron?
Oh, I don't even, it didn't really stick with me. It could be
it was like very
music.
Tron. It sounded like Tron.
It seemed very digital synthy.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I love what I see, though. I was kind of like, holy shit, it's an event now when Nolan puts out a movie, as it should be, because he fucking brings it all the time. Okay, last thing in the news here. Anthony, your boy...
Ooh,
your boy Joe Rogan breaking the internet earlier this week with more big news. And you know what? We're just going to hear it from Joe himself right here.
Hello, everybody. I have an announcement. The podcast is moving to Spotify. I signed a multi-year licensing agreement with Spotify that will start on September 1st. Starting on September 1st, the entire JRE library will be available on Spotify as well as all the other platforms. Then somewhere around the end of the year, it will become exclusive to Spotify, including the video version of the podcast. It will be the exact same show. I am not going to be an employee of Spotify. We're going to be working with the same crew doing the exact same show. The only difference will be it will now be available on the largest audio platform in the world. Nothing else will change. It will be free. It will be free to you. You just have to go to Spotify to get it. We're very excited to begin this new chapter of the JRE, and I hope you're there when we cross over. Thanks.
Wow. Holy shit, that's pretty big. This deal estimated anywhere from $100 to $200 million, not to buy a show, to license the Joe Rogan show. He remains in charge of creative. This is crazy, and I don't know how I feel about this. It is both good and bad for podcasting. Anthony, comment.
Yeah, I'm a big JRE guy.
Everybody wants to be JRE. Come on, everybody starts a podcast.
There's already been steps, but this is the first big step to podcasts moving to the streaming video service format that Netflix and Apple and all the stuff we talked about.
So it's not a podcast anymore. It's a show. It's just a show.
Well, no, that and it's moving towards this exclusivity of you need, if you want content, you want to go to Spotify or you want to go to Apple. It's before it was just Apple and Android had everything.
Yes.
And now they're moving to these exclusive deals. And eventually I could see there being paywalls in front of this stuff. It's moving towards that format, and Spotify is banking on the ads that it'll run and just having the cachet of the Joe Rogan podcast, which I think is the second biggest podcast in the world. So
this is a huge ballsy move by Spotify.
What's the first biggest?
Is it still Dan Carlin? Joe says he gets 190 million downloads every month or something. But to your point, Anthony, he's taking something that started on an open source. Everyone can make a podcast community, and he's putting that now, building it up, putting it in a walled garden. This is also clearly a move for Spotify to take down Apple Podcasts.
I don't know, by the way, just to interrupt, sorry.
Yeah.
Top podcast charts. I don't know how credible this site is. This is the first one I clicked on. Joe Rogan's number 2. Number 1 is Call Her Daddy by Barstool Sports. It's 2 20-year-old girls.
I've heard about that.
I've heard about that show.
They got into some controversy recently, I think, that got him higher. But I can't believe that's number 1 over Rogan. Holy shit. But he's taken his open show that was open on YouTube and anybody in your podcast app, putting it in a walled garden.
I think Spotify free, from what we heard in our Facebook group, which you should join.
Yes,
Jock and Nerd Nation.
Well, he just said it will be available for free if you just need to sign up.
If you have the free version of Spotify, you can get podcasts.
And I didn't know they have video casts on there. Also,
I didn't know that either. So he's taking off YouTube too.
Well, but they'll still post clips, but the whole show won't be there. Now, fuck, this is crazy. If you listen to all your podcasts in Apple Podcasts and you just want to stay in that app and you love this show, you may be annoyed now that you gotta fucking get an app and sign up and get an account. And it's only over there. On the other hand, I'll take a quarter of that to put our show exclusive to Spotify. Oh, fucking nerd. Give me $1 million. Give me $50,000. I don't know.
What it signifies to
$50,000.
I can't wait out.
It signifies to me what I said earlier, and that Spotify is looking to now be a major player in the podcast scheme. They're buying stuff. I mean, they're already, I think, the number 1 streaming service.
286 monthly users on Spotify.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan gets 190 million monthly downloads.
It's crazy.
He has 2 billion monthly users on YouTube. And yeah.
$50,000? That's all you would take?
No, I'm changing that number. $500,000. Ruggs, Howard Stern did a similar thing with Sirius, forcing all of his listeners to go over and pay for Sirius.
That's right.
And I think it was successful. What are your thoughts on a move like this?
It does seem like down the line, there's going to be some kind of a catch. There's going to be either a paywall, like Anthony said, or some other shenanigans that are going to be this is fucking bullshit. But right now, this is in Rogan's going to just pocket the dough.
Holy fuck, he got bank on this one.
This is nothing but good for him.
Yeah.
Because, like, he built this thing. Whether people follow him to Spotify, he doesn't even have to give a fuck right now because he's got the money in his pocket. So
Imran, by the way,
yeah.
Rogan has vitiligo.
I know. He's one of the white celebrities that has vitiligo that I looked up. Remember we talked about it on one of the
I know.
shows. But you
could
never
see it on his hands.
on his hands.
Knuckles and stuff, yeah.
Ruggs, when Howard Stern made that switch, he had fewer than 1 million listeners. The estimated listeners to each episode of Joe Rogan, 11 million listeners.
I saw a comment on, I think, Rogan's Instagram, and it was directly compared to Howard Stern, where it was like, and it was negative. It was going like, Howard Stern sold out, and you're selling out too. You fuck.
Well, on the one hand, he is selling out, but fuck, that's a fucking huge. And
I don't know. I think that number's wrong. I think Howard Stern had like 20 million listeners.
Well,
at least
maybe now.
No,
I think he had that many when he meant exclusive.
I think maybe he has like maybe 1 million now.
I see now. Okay, maybe it's now.
That was why Sirius, I believe, paid up because he had such a big.
But also,
following.
Rogan was this guy that was all about like being independent, and it's his own show for him. But he still gets to remain control, so it's the smart play. He's still his own show. He's not gonna, they're not gonna tell him what to do.
Right. He's not an employee.
And he didn't sell his show. He licensed it, which is fucking genius. Because when that ends, he could go anywhere. He could put out his own shit and make people.
You know who else is on Spotify?
We are.
Exactly.
Nerd. So here's the thing, listener. Wherever you go, if you are now going to abandon your Apple Podcast app and go over to Spotify, you can add us there. Follow us there right next to fucking Joe Rogan. Here's a couple of other interesting discrepancy numbers, though, guys. Apple Podcasts responsible for about 70% of all podcast plays still. Spotify has been growing, but right now, according to Libsyn, it has 9.1% of all podcast plays. But on the other hand, Apple Podcasts only available on expensive Apple devices, and Spotify is available on thousands of different devices from hundreds of manufacturers. And it doesn't
trying to be a player.
And I think it's a huge fucking get. But I will say the techie geeks, semantics, the tech geek in me, if he abandons his RSS feed, which is what he is doing, it is technically no longer a podcast. It's just a webcast show. It's the Joe Rogan show. That's what
makes a podcast? I don't understand.
A podcast delivered.
That one I don't understand.
So a podcast is delivered by an RSS feed that users will subscribe to, and you push it, and it's open for everyone to add that into their app.
It's open like my butthole.
It's open like your Slack hole. But whatever. This is just words. This is a show too. So, but I don't know.
It's a show.
It's a show, guys. You know what I always say in times like these? What do I always say?
Shave your balls.
That's exactly right. A great ball trimmer is a man's best friend during a pandemic and after a pandemic, especially. And right now, you can get a great deal on a great ball trimmer from our awesome sponsors this month, Manscaped. Visit manscaped.com and get 20% off free shipping with the code Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd.
I'll tell you, I have used their new amazing third generation trimmer.
How's the light?
The fucking lawnmower 3.0 and the LED light on this thing is a goddamn game changer.
Geek boner.
It makes a huge difference. I was like, oh, I can see all the shit. Oh, what's that? I should have
I
that
can see
checked
that
out.
white hair. And
Oh,
I can
look at
trim
this.
it.
Yes. But they have a great package where you get boxers, you get ball deodorant, ball reviver, and a fun travel bag. And it's something, look, we wouldn't sponsor with Manscaped, who are really cool people, if we didn't love this product. And Anthony,
Absolutely.
you were using this product before.
I was using this product before, and all I got to say is Manscaped sponsors a lot of big sporting events, sponsors a lot of hot fucking girls, but don't use any of those codes.
No, use our code.
Use our code, because if you support Manscaped, you support the goddamn podcast, and we need your help. So even if you don't need to trim the hairs on your balls, you do, and you need Manscaped. And if you're a woman and you're listening to this show,
Buy it for your man.
buy it for your man, or buy it for your monkey downstairs.
Yeah, it works. So
Manscaped.
also, I noticed, Anthony, on this new one, instead of separate clippers, it has one clipper that you slide up and down, different positions. Brilliant. What a great fucking streamline. The ceramic blade is great.
These guys are basically like the modern day Albert Einstein.
I'm not even kidding. That new trimmer is amazing. I was like, this is an amazing improvement. So listener, look,
it's one of these things that I want to just get this out there. Like, you guys are talking just about shaving your balls, but you can shave your asshole too.
Yeah, you got to shave all that. The Brazilian wax it up.
Yeah, shave your butt. Shave it all.
It was a weird
Shave your
feeling.
back.
It was weird that when I was like 15 or 16 years old, I was like, "What is that hair coming out of my asshole?
Oh shit!
Is this normal? I gotta see a doctor.
Why do I have hair? Is there shit getting caught in there? Okay, yeah, never mind.
Just wait till you get older, Anthony.
Just get the man groomer and get it in there.
Wait till you get older, Anthony. You're gonna have hair growing out of weird places.
Manscaped. Sorry,
Manscaped again.
Yeah, it's weird when hair grows out of your ears.
Yes, yes, that's weird. You gotta get the trimmer.
Strange.
The trimmer will help. But this is I know why. Why? What necessity is there for a hair to grow out of my earlobe? I don't know, but it wants to do it all the time.
Oh shit!
I think we did enough material.
Yes, we did. Listen, listener, it comes down to this. Visit manscaped.com. Use the code Jock and Nerd. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. Your man's balls will thank you. And we will thank you for making us look good to Manscaped during the month of May. And they'll extend the sponsorship. And we will have a lovely relationship moving forward. Okay, let's take a quick break. Enough of the ball talk. We're going to come back and actually review an animated comic book goddamn movie for once. Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Melissa and I'm the host of The Haunted Ride, a paranormal and spiritual podcast. Every week I share some of my own personal stories and a few of yours as well. We talk about things from spirits to ghosts, demons, angels, cryptids, or any experience that just seems a little too weird and you honestly can't call it normal. What if you've communicated with a ghost? You feel other people's emotions? Maybe you're questioning if you're an empath, medium, or could even be a psychic. Well, we cover that too. So join me every Monday on your favorite podcast player and tune in as we talk about all the great and sometimes scary things that happen through this haunted journey we call life. Because ghosts are out there. And if you're not careful, they will get you.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Throwback Thursday from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. Along with my co-host, Bill. Every Thursday, we bring you classic hip-hop.
Classic.
Classic. You know, all the good stuff, the stuff that you forgot about, the golden age, pre-golden age, back to the original era.
For all the pioneers, I'm going way back.
Each week, we bring you hip-hop headlines, so we let you know what's going on with your favorite artists from back in the day. We bring you Wu News. We dedicate an entire segment just to the Wu-Tang Clan every week.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
We bring you two records. One is a one and done. One is a record of the week. We give you an artist of the month. We give you all the classics.
Classic.
Straight classic. Come and check us out. Every week we're on iTunes, Stitcher, and at MrThrowbackThursday.com. And if you remember nothing else, always remember, new school stale, old school fresh.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show during your shelter-in-place quarantine, if we've made you laugh and brought a little bright spot and all this fucking craziness.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Join our awesome fan club. Just visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. There's a link in the show notes. And for a small monthly donation, you'll be supporting the show. And you're going to get bonus content, an exclusive RSS feed where the shows come out early and you get more shows. Holy shit, we got a new Patreon supporter. It's been a while.
It's been quite a while.
Right? Huge thanks to our latest Patreon supporter, actor Jordan Wall.
Nerd.
Do you guys remember Jordan Wall? He has an IMDb page.
But why do you remember? Why would we remember him?
Because he's written in before. I have.
Oh, yes.
Remember
you're right.
him? So he signed up for $1 a month, and he sent us a $20 donation. Jordan, thank you.
Oh, shit.
But click on this IMDb page. Remember, he was this good-looking actor that listened
Why
to
is
us.
he listening to our show?
Exactly. Remember, we had like, I think we all had like a man crush on him. At least I
Let me
did.
look
I
at
will
him
tell
again.
you.
Let me look at him.
Good-looking guy. He was on the Glades.
Is he in the Glades?
Yes, he was on the Glades.
Whoa.
And the Purge.
Right.
He's a very good-looking man.
He has been listening
Great
since
hair.
2016 was when we met him, guys.
Oh, shit.
What?
Yes. So later on in News from the Nation, I have an awesome email. We will hear more from Jordan Wall, the actor who still listens to the show. I love Jordan Wall. Thank you.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
You are the man, Jordan. You are the one with the power to make the show go big.
Yes, he's our ticket to.
You got to put Jock and Nerd stickers all over the set.
Yeah.
And you sneak one into the show, next show you're on.
He's our ticket to a Spotify deal, Rugs. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, like, he's the only guy that actually has some play.
Dude, I'm so glad you're still listening, Jordan. We will we'll hear more from him later. But Anthony, you got more Corona Binge Reports, which are
I do.
special short movie reviews.
Yeah.
Some free and some just for our Patreon supporters. What did you watch this week?
Yeah, I watched Gravity.
Nice.
Room.
Whoa.
Desperado, which was sponsored by Seth Morgan, so that's free
That
for
one's
all our
free.
listeners.
Yep.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
And Honey Boy.
Honey Boo Boo? Oh, that's different.
And I'll say,
Honey baby.
just right off the bat, my favorites out of those were Room, Kingpin, and Honey Boy.
So Room with Brie Larson's good, huh?
I liked Room a lot, yeah.
Dude, Kingpin
is fucking hilarious.
One of my top 10 comedies of all time. Absolutely. My favorite line is when Bill Murray's at the bar and he's like, give me a gin and tap and keep it coming. I got a long ride ahead of me. Like, that's fucking hilarious. There's so many great lines in that movie.
What does he say? He's milking the cow, and they're like, we don't have a cow. We got a bull. And then, what's his name? What's the actor's name?
Randy Quaid, Woody Harrelson.
No. The lead.
Bill Murray.
No.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson goes, I'm going to go brush my teeth. And he has like a milk mustache.
I love when Bill Murray convinces him, and he's like, way to flip-flop, kid. Let's go. Dude, his hair in this movie. Woody Harrelson is great. Bill Murray is fantastic.
Just the premise alone with the Amish and
Randy Quaid is so good.
I loved Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
I like There's Something About Mary. The Farrelly brothers, it's dumb humor, but for whatever reason,
I thought it was interesting in your review. You pointed out one of these Farrelly brothers directed Green Book.
Which won Best Picture.
Shit, this guy goes from Kingpin to fucking Green Book. Amazing. Anyways, check all that out. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up today.
What about me?
What about you?
I'm doing a Corona Binge Report.
Did you send me anything? What'd you send me?
No.
Yeah. So I got nothing. I
have to record them after the show.
Yeah. So once you send it in, we talk about it afterwards.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna do the Raid 2 free. That will be a free one.
and I'm gonna do Desperado too.
You're gonna do Desperado also?
Really? Yeah.
Wow. Competing reviews.
Anthony watched it, and I was jealous, and I wanted to watch it.
All right.
So
I got to see Selma Hayek's tits.
Dude,
yeah.
peak Salma Hayek in that fucking movie. All right, look for that on our Patreon page. Let's get into the movie review. We are doing the DC Animated Universe newest movie, came out on May 5th and just available now on Blu-ray DVD, Justice League Dark, Apokolips War. We will spoil it, so if you want to go watch it right now, pause right here while I play the spoiler alert, or jump ahead to the next section.
Let's spoil some shit, Batman.
See how I tied all that together?
Yeah.
Do you see the tiniest bit of thought that goes into this, listener? This is the sequel to 2017's Justice League Dark, the 15th and last movie in this DC animated movie universe that started with Flashpoint in 2013 and the 38th film overall in the DC universe animated original movies. So this movie actually is a serialized, is the last part of a serialized story they've been telling. And basically, you kind of had to watch the other movies. Any movie that had Justice League or Teen Titans in the title that came out before this, it was all leading up to this. On Rotten Tomatoes, I don't know if this is, there's 12 reviews. It's 100%. So it's very early. 7.7 out of 10. On the average rating, but it's giving it 100%. This movie is directed by Matt Peters and Christina Sutta, written by Ernie Altbecker, and has a pretty crazy cast. Everybody in the DC universe is kind of in this movie. You got Roger Cross playing Jon Stewart and the voice of Swamp Thing, Rosario Dawson voicing Wonder Woman, Christopher Gorham voicing The Flash, Camilla Luddington as Zatanna, Shamar Moore as Cyborg, Jerry O'Connell as Superman, Jason O'Mara as Batman, who's done Batman for years, Matt Ryan, the live-action Constantine, voicing the animated John Constantine, Ray Chase as Etrigan, Stuart Allen as Damian Wayne, Tessa Farmiga as Raven, and Liam McIntyre, Captain Boomerang, Tony Candyman Todd as Darkseid himself, and there's two more good ones. Rebecca Romaine voicing Lois Lane, and Rainn Wilson, Dwight Schrute from The Office, voicing Lex Luthor, and then Hynden Walsh doing Harley Quinn. That's the whole Justice League roster right there. And Anthony, tell me the plot of this one. A lot of shit happens in this movie.
First off, I didn't realize that they were doing an animated shared universe.
It is an animated shared universe.
I think I knew about it in the back of my head, but it's been so long since I've watched it. It's been going on
since 7 years. I've watched most of them. I haven't watched all of them.
I've watched a handful of them.
I don't think I watched them all.
And I don't think you need to have watched all of them to enjoy this.
Okay.
You know?
That was part of my review, but all right.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. As far as the plot, Darkseid is invading, has a plan to take over Earth and the rest of the universe. The Justice League preemptively decides to go after him, but that's all part of Darkseid's plan. He eliminates a good portion of all the heroes on Earth, and it's a 2-year time jump, and Superman and Raven rally John Constantine and a bunch of villains and the remaining Earth heroes to plot a last stand against Darkseid.
Yes, and the heroes don't quite win, really. They do, but they don't. Let's just start with you, Anthony. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't realize this was part of an animated universe, so I haven't seen Justice League Dark. It's been a while. I think the last one I saw was the Atlantis one.
So these are all also this universe was based on the New 52 storyline. So we've read that. If you've read that, you kind of know these characters and what happened.
I think there's a lot of payoffs in this film that I just wasn't familiar with.
Gotcha.
So
there are.
That kind of hurt it for me.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's very violent.
Oh, yeah.
And very dark.
Yeah.
Very nihilistic in terms of what's going on to the heroes.
It's unrated, but it would have been an R-rated movie. There's a couple of fucks in there.
Yeah, it's and there's a lot of just very brutal dismantling of all our heroes.
Yes.
So overall, I found it to be entertaining, but I found it to be kind of okay.
Okay, Ruggs, what'd you think watching this?
I thought it was entertaining, and I had fun with it. There was a couple of times I was chuckling at just how huge characters would just be dismembered.
I mean, it's dark
randomly.
Yes, it's dark, but it's also kind of funny too.
Yeah, so I found it to be unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this character is now headless.
He's dead.
Okay.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, she just died.
Oh, that arm just got ripped off.
Oh, that was fucking great.
Okay, there's no, they're not going to draw it out, huh? They're just going to just do it right in 2 seconds.
Everybody fucking dies.
Yeah. So it was just funny to see characters with years and years of establishment and whatever just become, jello.
They were facing paradooms, which are parademons mixed with doomsday.
Paradooms.
Paradumans?
Yeah. I don't know.
Paradooms. I thought they were paradooms, which I thought that was an interesting concept.
Yeah, they mixed up the demons with the doom, with doomsday, DNA, and they could not fight these guys. These guys are just, for some reason, CG at some points in time and regular drawings the other time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they're floaty CG guys in the distance. I noticed that, too.
Yeah, and it was just weird that they did both with them. Anyway.
What do you guys think of the animation overall?
Overall, I liked it. Yeah. Everybody looks like Tom Cruise.
They all got broad chins and high cheekbones.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
I thought it was pretty good.
I'm like, why does Superman look exactly like Tom Cruise? That's weird.
I kind of enjoyed the crazy fucking shocking things that happened at this movie. I wasn't expecting it. It's interesting that the Zack Snyder thing breaks on the same week we watch this because part of me is like, this is the fucking movie Zack Snyder wanted to make.
Oh, shit. Kind of, but not really.
Like, his 3-part plan was going to be this. Everybody dies. It goes into the
Superman
future.
Goes evil in his.
Oh, that's a good point. And they did a reverse.
So I think in his version, Superman is evil, and then Batman saves the day.
Yeah.
And in this version, Batman's evil, and then Superman saves the day.
So I think if we go character by character, I think we get a good sense because there was a couple of things that I thought were clever. The idea that the Flashpoint movie caused this, Constantine sees his head is a nice way to tie it, and the ending is interesting, also tying it back to the movie that started it.
The ending is not all that happy. And it's basically like, hey, let's do another reset. I did find it interesting, like the movie kind of turns, it's not your typical superhero movie. The heroes within the first 2 minutes die. It kind of reminded me of Endgame. And that, like, you have like
it's their
this mission, and then like they completely fail within the first 5 minutes, and then you do a time jump, and you see. So it's always interesting to see like where the heroes are at when they're depressed and they've lost and they've had time to. So they play with that concept of like almost an Elseworlds tale.
Yeah, just like Endgame, it has a time reset, but it's at the very end. And I love that last line. Like at the end of the movie, they destroyed Darkseid, but he sucked out 30% of the core. That there's going to be 1 billion people die. And Constantine's overhearing Batman and Superman talk about this. And then he goes to Flash and he's like, you know what you have to do, mate? Clear the board, start again. And fucking Flash takes off and does another flashpoint. And so this is a great way to clear for them to start a new thing. But let's talk about some of the characters, because I think one of the highlights is Matt Ryan's Constantine. He is the fucking perfect Constantine live action animated. This guy nails this role. He gets it.
Does he fuck the fish?
So that I thought was interesting. There's a moment where he alludes he used to date
homosexual thing going on there.
He used to date King Shark.
Oh, shit.
Who was hilarious.
Or not even homosexual. I don't know what that is.
That's called trans.
Well, definitely, if he has a penis.
It's pansexual. It's a male shark.
Yeah.
But how great was King Shark? They turned him into Groot.
They turned him into Groot, and they made him
talk at the end, like Silent Bob.
Pansexual for some reason.
King Shark is a shark. It was fucking great. It was so funny.
I was like, wait, what?
That's so fucking
they just
funny.
To a throwaway line of Constantine just banging King Shark.
He's standing next to Harley Quinn, and he's like, oh, my ex is here. And Raven's like, you used to date Harley? And he's like, no, I'm not crazy. And it's King Shark who winks at him. It's so fucking funny.
I mean, this movie, as far as characters, they throw all the characters at you. Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, Darkseid, then Justice League, and then Trigon. I didn't even know who Trigon was.
Trigon is, so if you've read Teen Titans, and this was in the Titans TV show, Trigon is just like the show. It's Raven's dad, and she traps him inside her. And I love the way she was kind of battling this and would use him. And the line at the end when she releases him to fight Darkseid, and he's like, thank you, daughter. This is the best gift ever. Because he's free and he can just fuck shit up. And Trigon versus Darkseid, that's a great fucking battle.
Yeah, I like that. That was pretty cool.
There's a lot of great battles. Constantine does he is the MVP. He does kind of save everyone, even though he's a selfish asshole. Lois Lane and Harley boxing, I thought that was fucking funny. That was fun.
Yeah, all of a sudden Lois Lane just is Batman.
Well, she was did she say
an army brat?
Was it? Didn't she? Yeah, she was an army brat, so she knows how to fight. I also love Lois quoting the Han Solo line twice, where Clark says, "I love you," and she goes, "I know," in her own Lois way. Etrigan was hilarious.
He didn't rhyme.
He was so bored. I mean, he was so sad. Somebody died, and I guess that ties back to Justice League Dark. So sad that he doesn't even rhyme anymore. But at the end, he's finally like, "This is fun, thanks." And he's like, when they meet, who do they meet? Damien. He's like, "I really like that guy."
Yeah, for the record, John Constantine, you did an upgrade with Zatanna, because I think we could all decidedly so would rather date Zatanna than a shark.
Yes, he went from King Shark to Zatanna. He's
male or female. It doesn't
listen.
even
Constantine will fuck anything. That's the beauty of him.
There's some fun stuff with Batman being a new god and in the Mobius chair.
That's from the comic books too.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And then you wonder, did Batman plan this thing the whole time? He kind of had a contingency plan, but even when he was programmed? Was he kind of planning this? I thought that was.
Well, I think his contingency plan. I don't remember, but I believe him and Zatanna reveals that they made Constantine run away, and I think that was in cahoots with Batman. Like, in case this all goes wrong, we're gonna give you a spell to run away.
We need a schemer, and I love in the beginning, it's Clark's plan, and it just goes to shit, and he's so gung-ho. He's like, no, we have to do this preemptive strike. They're like, is this a good idea, Clark? He's like, fuck it. And Darkseid knew they were coming and fucked him up good. I thought they did some really interesting things with Superman. The fact that how Darkseid depowered him by injecting him with liquid kryptonite, I've never seen that before. I guess it would work.
Yeah. Or maybe it would kill him. I thought it would kill him.
It should, I guess, kill him, but it was just enough to remove his powers, and his green eyes and green pupils and the black eyes were cool. And
it's a fun, like, dark take on the Justice League and DC Comics. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you're like, okay, they're going to reset the whole table anyway, so what the fuck? It doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah, they kind of had free license to do whatever they want.
But I still felt it had like pretty big stakes and big loss and real loss, and they lose.
What they had to do was get Flash free so he could. That was the ultimate thing that they did.
Yeah.
Is that once they got Flash out of there,
everything stopped. The power stopped.
Then he could just, reset the whole timeline, and then everybody can go fuck themselves.
I love how Darkseid took some of them and turned them into Furies, like Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter and Mira. That was crazy. I thought Shazam missing a leg and just having a yellow glowing leg was kind of funny. It's just, that's how bloody violent this is. Shazam's flying away and they just rip his leg off and there's blood trailing off.
Wonder Woman gets her arm ripped off.
Oh, yeah. Cyborg gets both of his arms ripped off after he helps. I mean, and there are a lot of plot holes that came up when I was watching this. Like, clearly, Constantine can portal onto Apokolips anytime he wants. So why did they need a boom tube to get there?
They didn't.
But it's, it's comic.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you start to incorporate magic into the other superheroes because magic is limitless.
And then it could be techno magic, like what he does to Cyborg. He's like, I'm doing techno magic.
And Constantine's like this heavy hitter in this movie.
I kind of love that. It's called Justice League Dark. He's leading the team. Everyone else has been compromised. And at that point, you need a manipulative, scheming dude to fucking, as a last Hail Mary. And it kind of worked. I love some of the battles, like Batman versus Damian Wayne at the end. And then he snaps out and tells Darkseid to go to hell. That was great.
I found it interesting that Darkseid is so overpowered that he can take out everyone at the same time. And then they also make Superman just like his equal.
Yeah, because they go at it.
So it's interesting to me that they have made both those characters just so much more powerful than everyone else.
I love seeing the zigzag eye blasts that he shoots, which is like
the Omega beams.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Omega. Oh, look at you, Mr.
Oh,
Oscar.
shit.
But just from a Jack Kirby comic book, I kind of, and there's eyes being gouged out and so much people ripped in half. Holy shit, it's violent, and I kind of loved every second of it.
Loved it. Wow.
Well, I mean,
all right, so let's rate
it out of whatever. And considering all the Justice League animated universe, which is very successful, this movie is better than the Justice League movie. I'll give it that much.
Oh shit.
Who wants to go first?
I think it was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine. I looked at it, I'm like, this is gonna be a long one.
Yeah, it was 90 minutes too, which surprised me.
Yeah, so it's a legitimate,
full,
an hour and a half long movie. Was it longer than that?
No, it was 90 minutes, but this feature length. It's feature length. Usually they're not that long.
I doubt. Wait, hold on.
Look it up, you fucks. It's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it?
God
Okay.
damn, question me, puppet
longer
fuck.
than that. I question you, Imran, whenever I feel like it. Okay.
Okay.
No, so as I said, it felt epic.
Yeah,
it felt epic. So it was fine.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite version of a comic book thing? No, when you get a do-over and you have a MacGuffin like that, it kind of cheapens it a little bit.
I like that it's original though.
But it's also harmless because you got that reset button.
Yeah,
so just no harm, no foul. I guess it doesn't matter. It's I just kidding. We just kill everybody you love. Just kidding.
Well, they'll probably do the rebirth storyline next to bring everything back into a new thing.
I hope so.
Give me a number. What's your number?
I'm going to say 6.
Okay. Anthony, Mr. Oscars?
I'll just start off right away. I had it at 6 as well.
Yeah.
Entertaining enough. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more, especially some of the payoffs if I had been following this universe.
Yeah,
turns everything kind of on its side and has some fun with stuff that you wouldn't expect in a typical superhero movie. But there's not a lot of for me, one of my favorites is the Under the Red Hood. There's some other DC movies I think are a lot better, but overall, it's kind of offensive because they just kill superheroes with no build-up whatsoever. But
there was a 7-year build-up, technically.
True. Yeah, yes. True. It's just for me, I wasn't following along.
Gotcha. What's your number?
6.
You said 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I guess I'm going to agree. It's not the best they've done. In fact, I think Flashpoint is probably one of the better ones in the new DCAU, and the Elseworld tales are good. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I did have a lot of fun. It was unexpected. And even me not watching a lot of the last movies, I knew the storylines, so I kind of knew. But yeah, the Damian and Raven arc has been building up for a few movies, and the Trigon and Raven's been building up, and so there's a lot of culmination on all those character developments throughout the movies. So I think if you've watched all of them, it's probably a pretty satisfying conclusion. And DC just kills it in the animation, as they do. So good stuff. I'm glad we got to watch this movie. I'm glad we got to watch just a fun comic book movie.
Yeah.
For a
all
change.
This deep discussion. And
dude. It's exhausting.
Yeah, you got to relax a little bit and watch a comic.
Yeah, you need a palate cleanser. Perfect. Let's move on.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say that Swamp Thing was the clutch guy in this whole movie.
Swamp Thing was great, but that was also kind of a huge plot hole. There's 3 of these things that are destroying the Earth, and they only have enough people to cover 2. And so Constantine's like, I got an idea. He goes over there, and he calls out to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing shows up, and he's like, oh, this thing is hurting the Earth. I got to destroy it. But he would have sensed that the minute these things were digging into the ground.
I know, yeah, that was weird that he didn't give a shit before.
He should have already been on the job.
Because they're not affecting the green, they're affecting the magma.
Yeah, magma. But they're killing the green. People suck. Save the green. I'm with Swampy.
I don't know. Yeah.
I love fucking Swamp Thing.
That, but
yeah, he's
whatever.
like you would. But he was. I thought it was a great use for him, and it's all for the plot to push things forward. Okay, it's a movie. A lot of this stuff they get away with because it's a cartoon. And it just kind of works. I don't know if it would work in live action as well, but works here. Okay, let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. I hope you have enough toilet paper over there, Ruggs. You guys, we got some amazing response from our loyal listeners from our last episode. Talking Nerd! I am blown away. If you are a first-time listener, go back to episode 328, where we were discussing 3 amazing movies that came out in 1994, all in the same year. Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, and Pulp Fiction. And, man, people couldn't wait to write in. Paul Gunter comments, another great episode as always. Thank you for the content. Talking Nerd. Ron Hans, guys, one of my favorite episodes you have done recently. Chris Williams says Pulp Fiction is the worst movie ever.
What?
I just got to comment on that real quick.
I kind of get that.
I totally get that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about how Tarantino doesn't make movies for the masses. He makes them for a specific audience that are like him and likes the things he likes. So not everyone's going to enjoy it. And I'm not mad. I don't agree, but I'm not mad, Chris Williams.
I could easily see myself having that opinion
going that
at a
way.
Different time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Chaz Hubbard comments, awesome episode, but I'm beginning to feel personally victimized by Imran attacking Kingsman, then doubling down on it, and then giving Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings a drive-by. I don't like this new WWE heel version of Imran.
I think all 3 of us gave Harry Potter the drive-by.
We did.
I'm a heel now? I've got heel?
You are basically... Who's a heel that you would know?
Like, I just remember Hulk Hogan when he was NWO in the black wearing...
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's
I'm now Hulk Hogan in the New World Order.
You were walking around wearing the yellow and red, telling people to take their vitamins.
Get the fuck out of here.
And avoid sunlight. And now you are all about, like, taking your shirt off and just fucking healing on over everyone with the New World Order.
You fans! villains. But the heel comes back, right? Then they have another turn. And
Sometimes, yeah.
they go, Chaz, I'll come back. I'm sorry, it's not personal, Chaz, but I love that I'm a heel. That's fucking hilarious. It's never happened. Joe Henry comments, nobody even mentioned I predicted the casting of Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian months ago. And yes, Imran, she's also the voice of that character on both Rebels and the Clone Wars. That is true. On our Star Wars special, I believe he said that. But Joe, I don't remember anything that has happened in past episodes. I have a very limited short-term memory. But he called it. David Zika comments, you guys didn't even mention all the other stuff that came out that same year. Personally, I'll take The Lion King over Forrest Gump. Now, 1994, we could do multiple episodes of 1994. Just a couple of other movies, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Speed, The Lion King, Clerks, True Lies, The Mask, Ed Wood, Natural Born Killers, I love that movie, Dumb and Dumber, Interview with a Vampire, The Crow, The Professional, the list goes on.
That's all from 94.
That's all from 1994. Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Remember that one? Airheads.
I do.
The list goes on and on. So as we go on, I think we hit on something here. We're definitely gonna do more shows like that where maybe we pick a year and we pick 3 movies. And then we just talk about them. I had a lot of fun. I love that.
Let's do it.
Moving on, we talked about Jordan Wall and how we met Jordan Wall. The last time he wrote in was 2016. This episode got him to write in. Jordan says, long time, Imran. Just listen to your latest. Absolutely thrilled. You reviewed my favorite film of all time in Forrest Gump. I'm a sucker for heart-tugging theme music accompanied by a floating feather.
Yes.
Yes, that's always great, right in the beginning. And the end ends the same way. Excellent episode for an excellent year. May I suggest 1999 as your next stop? Aside from having my second favorite feature in being John Malkovich, you got powerhouses in Fight Club, Magnolia, American Beauty, The Matrix, The Sixth Sense, just to name a few. 1999 is another great year, guys.
Absolutely.
He continues, on a more personal note, it's been a tough few years since we last corresponded, but your podcast has been a welcome respite from life's challenges. I'm sure I speak for all your listeners in saying what you do is appreciated now more than ever. Thank you, Anthony and Ruggs, for your continued commitment to providing entertainment content on a weekly basis when you could have easily taken a break. All the best, Jordan.
I like that he thanked me and Ruggs.
Well, he starts with me. He's writing to me. He says, thank you, meaning me, and then Anthony and Ruggs. Maybe he didn't thank me.
I'm going thank you,
Okay,
Anthony
fine.
and Ruggs.
Oh, shit. But then he wrote back again and said, almost forgot, Forrest Gump is indeed based on a novel written by Winston Groom in 1986, though it might be the only film far superior to its source material. I didn't even know that was a novel.
No, I had no idea.
Jess Rivera also suggested 1999. You heard a couple of the picks there. You also have The Green Mile, Cider House Rules. You got Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, Boys Don't Cry.
99's good.
I need Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
I got issues with that movie. Magnolia, Stir Up.
I mean,
Go is a great movie.
99 is going to be tough to just pick 3. I mean, if you go with just the Oscar candidates, you got American Beauty, Green Mile, and Sixth Sense right there.
Well, both of those years, we can do multiple episodes where we just pick 3
You're
different
not
movies.
even talking about Fight Club.
Oh, fuck, I know.
Which wasn't nominated.
You're
not supposed to talk about Fight Club.
That's true. Yeah,
That's true. About Fight Club. Toy Story 2. That's another great year. Election, Man on the Moon. Holy shit. It goes on and on. The Mummy.
We could break it up into, but just thinking out loud, we could do like the 3 from the Oscars that were nominated,
I like
and then
that.
3 that were shunned, that also could have been
Or
considered.
3.
Or just 3 of our favorites.
Yeah, 3 of our favorites. And like we could do this for multiple years. You guys, this feedback is so awesome and important. It's given us so much content ideas that we know you guys are digging this. Ron Hans, after leaving the comment on the Facebook group, wrote in. He said, guys, I wanted to follow up my comment on last week's episode that I made in the Facebook group. The recent shows have been full of great conversations and content. Last week's conversation was probably your best show of 2020.
Oh, wow.
I think we should just quit here then. What do you think?
Yeah, go on a high
I think
note.
we should pull a
Absolutely.
Jerry Seinfeld and just stop. We can't get any better. How are we going to get better? The conversation was insightful and on point. I also like the perspective you each gave on how you ranked the 3 movies. All in all, it was a really great episode. I will also say When you guys were talking about the 99 Mindfuck movies, when the conversation started, my mind went right to Requiem for a Dream. So when Rugg said he'd never wanted to see that movie again, I lolled. Great performances in that movie, but fuck, that is a movie that makes you want to kill yourself. I don't agree.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking terrible.
I would like to suggest another year of great movies to talk about, 2015. He says you got Spotlight, who won Best Picture, The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Mad Max, Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant. Also, I think it would be a great conversation to do the converse of this. I'd love this. Pick a year and do the terrible movies with the Ginger Geek. Example, the 2015 Razzie list. This is an amazing list. Fan-Fertastic, 50 Shades of Grey, Jupiter Ascending, Paul Blart 2, and Pixels, the Adam Sandler movie that I heard was so fucking bad.
Pixels.
It was terrible.
It was like
Pixels has an all-time review from Movie Bob.
Yeah, everyone said this is absolutely the worst movie ever made in the history of movies. That's what I heard.
I stumbled upon something. What can I say with this?
Anthony, it only took you 5 years to catch up to movies to get us to this point to find a thing that people like that we can do, you motherfucker.
All you had to do
just watch movies.
is watch movies.
Yes, this all comes from you watching fucking movies. But other great.
It took a pandemic.
It took a pandemic, and to get us to now, we just hit on gold
when
here.
you got to get late, when you have getting late as your priority.
Yes. Once you take that
movies
away,
aren't that important.
it's like you lost a sense, and all your other senses got stronger. You know, that's what happened in the pandemic.
Like his prime directive change.
I'm not using my dick so I can watch movies now.
I love that it's just me deciding, hey, you know what? I'm on a movie review podcast and I just don't watch movies. So let's just watch movies. Maybe we can talk about more stuff.
We're technically a movie and TV review podcast. You don't watch television. You don't watch movies. So this will work out great.
This is going great.
2015 is a good year, by the way.
Other movies, 2015, It Follows, Ex Machina, What We Do in the Shadows, Sicario, The Hateful Eight. Talk about some Tarantino.
Sorry, Room is on, not even listed.
Oh.
Room, I just watched it.
You got Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. You got Inside Out from Pixar. It's a great movie. Room's on here. It's right there. Kingsman.
Did he list that? He didn't list that.
He didn't list that, but I'm looking at the list from IMDb. The Gift. Another great year. So this is all to say, you guys, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for writing in and letting us know. We got a direction. This is some fucking good shit.
I will
here.
say the last two episodes, this one's kind of reverted back to what we do, but the last two episodes have probably been more of our most mature episodes we've ever done. One with the history, and then this one with the movie comparison from the Oscars.
Oh, that's right. We did
94.
the history. That all led to that. That was great too.
No.
We got to get.
We did the history of what?
Remember we did the historical accuracy in movies? I already forgot.
What did we do? We did that.
I forgot too. Next time we got to get Jim McPike back. Next time we do the history movies, get Jim McPike on the thing.
We'll have to pick a year, and we'll do another 3-way.
Last thing, Chaz Hubbard has a great question for the show. If you could rewatch any movie for the first time, what movie would you pick? It's a good question.
So I thought about this very quickly.
Yeah, me too.
2 movies right off the bat.
Yeah.
If I could watch them for the first time, they'd have to be in a movie theater again.
Yeah.
And it's a simple, basic answer, even though I'm now Mr. Oscar. Either Avengers or Avengers Endgame. Either one of those experiences were some of the greatest experiences I've ever had in
That's
movie theater.
definitely up there. The first thing that popped into mind is like the amazing time travel movies that I love that, kind of like Memento or these weird movies. Maybe watching Pulp Fiction, I kind of would like to watch that for the first time again. But and then maybe some of the Star Wars would be nice. Ruggs, what jumps to your head?
Oh, Jesus. I don't even know.
It's a good question.
I mean, Pacific Rim, maybe.
What about a Godzilla movie? You guys wouldn't have picked the Godzilla movie?
No.
No. Pacific Rim, though, I probably would love to see in a theater again.
Yeah.
And I think
watch it again. Watch it again for the first time. So movies that blew you away so much that you can't have that feeling unless you watched it again with your mind erased for the first time.
I was trying to think of that movie that Ruggs is probably the only one that's seen amongst the three of us. What's that film where the Japanese girl tortures?
Audition?
Yes.
Whoa.
I was trying to make that joke and I couldn't think of the movie.
Yikes. All right.
Would you want to rewatch that for the first time, Ruggs?
No.
Okay. There you go.
I never want to see that.
What about Requiem for a Dream, Rugs? If you didn't know and you were watching it for the first time, like Pi, like there's certain movies like that, like Time Crimes, like these time travel movies that I would kind of want to watch again without knowing.
Like Sixth Sense, maybe.
Yes, that would be a good one. Or I was thinking of like The Crying Game, like movies with big twists at the end.
At the end, yeah.
That you can't go back. Matrix was another one that popped into my head.
The Matrix. That would
imagine
be. I remember
watching
that. Yeah.
Getting your mind erased and watching that again for the first time, not knowing what it was, it fucking blow you away.
Inception had that effect for me. When everyone walks out of the theater, like the top is spinning and slowing down.
That's another one.
What the hell?
That's another one I would put in there. Good question, Chaz Hubbard. Love it. And if you want to hear more answers, just join our Facebook group.
You know what? I got another one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I got two.
Yeah.
This is with the knowledge of having seen the first film already.
Okay.
Aliens and Terminator 2. Before sequels
I'm
were like
totally down.
regular.
Yes, I'm totally down with both of those. Yes.
Because those were like 7-year builds, I think, on each of those.
Dude, both of those.
And you would have been mind blown both times.
Yes, and both of those movies, when I first watched it, blew my fucking mind. Yes, Aliens and Terminator 2 to the top of the list. Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, those are both
good
ones.
picks. Okay.
If I was a 13-year-old girl, if I could put myself into a 13-year-old girl's body, I think I would really enjoy Titanic again for the first time because of Leonardo DiCaprio. I remember as a kid, every girl that I knew had a crush on Leo.
Yeah.
So I'm just... Yeah, if I could change my genitalia, that's my pick.
All right. Oh, shit. Dude, I just thought of another one. What about Jurassic Park? The first time you see dinosaurs, CGI, and it looks up, you're like, what the fuck is this?
That is really good, The first time you see that Brontosaurus, it's insane.
You were like, they can do this now? Holy shit, never seen. And it looked fucking amazing, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So that would be another. Wow, there more movies pop up.
Great question.
It's a fucking great question. Let's finish up with some What Are We Watching? Anthony, Last Dance documentary had its 2-part finale or aired the last 2 episodes. I loved it overall. I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Slight spoilers, maybe. Well, this shit happened 23 years ago.
20 years ago.
Why was Jordan kind of downplaying that flu game, turning it into food poisoning? That whole story seemed very sketchy. I've heard the guy in Utah who delivered that pizza said that he couldn't have got food poisoning from this. I've made other pizzas. Nobody else got food poisoning. It goes in an oven. I don't see how you could get food poisoning from a pizza. Maybe.
So you're saying Jordan downplayed it? Or?
I feel. Is it because we're in a pandemic and you see him have the flu and go out there and just infect everyone if he had the flu? Is it irresponsible? Yeah. Well, I feel. I thought it was weird that he was like, it wasn't the flu. It was food poisoning. Nobody had ever heard this story before.
Yeah, I mean, food poisoning seems more likely culprit. Anyways, I've had food poisoning. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, either way, it's still an amazing game on his resume.
Yes, the fact.
Did he shit himself? That's the question.
He was. He said he was in overnight at like 3 a.m. But
I've had some. Just for what it's worth, I think we all have. I've had some nasty food, and those symptoms can come very quickly.
The fact that he comes back and then wins that game and dominates, I was like, this fucking guy is superhuman. Holy shit!
He had a great mind. He had a very strong will.
Just a strong, competitive will and spirit. Nothing was going to stop him.
It was great. It was fun watching that.
Yeah, they're going to re-air it on ABC. So if you weren't able, you don't have ESPN, it will be on regular network ABC, the censored versions, because there's a lot of swearing in it. But they had 2 versions.
A lot of swearing.
Ruggs, did you watch anything?
Besides the Raid, 3 days.
3 days to watch the Raid. You were busy.
I watched Better Call Saul. I'm trying to get through the season. Yeah. So I've been watching that.
All right.
It's very good.
Anthony, you watch anything else?
Yeah, I've got some movies lined up. I might watch The Martian.
Oh, it's a fucking great movie.
But I've got 2 movies. So Honey Boy I watched.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Imran?
No,
I think it looks like
weird Shia LaBeouf.
It's like autobiographical Shia LaBeouf story.
Where he plays his own dad in the movie.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Is it good?
Weird.
I liked it.
Oh, all right.
But so it got me on the Shia LaBeouf train, so I'm probably going to watch Peanut Butter Falcon.
That was like the next one he did.
That's a good one.
And then I'm also going to probably watch Waves, which came out last year.
Oh, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah.
Then you got to watch that shitty Indiana Jones movie because he's in
There's
that.
another one.
Oh, and the other one I want to watch, Prestige.
Prestige.
And then
Yeah, you
also
gotta watch
Gangs
that.
of New York. So those are like the next 5 kind of floating in the ether. But
I feel like if you watch Prestige, you have to also watch The Illusionist because they both came out at the same time. There's sets of movies. We could do this. There are sets of identical movies that will come out at the same time. Remember when Deep Impact came out? Armageddon came out at the same fucking time.
Yeah.
This happens all the time. There's a disaster
Twister
movie.
and another movie.
Yeah, similar disaster movie.
Dante's Peak, and there was another one.
Yeah,
Dante's Peak.
Volcano.
Volcano, yes. I always thought that was weird. I would love to like watch them both and compare them and be like, which one was better? There was like 2 shark movies that came out. This happens all the time. It's very strange. I watched 2 comic book based TV shows, the premiere of 2 shows on 2 networks, both starting with the letter S. That would be the pilot of Stargirl on the
How is that?
the DC Universe app and the CW. You know what? Wasn't as bad as I thought. Luke Wilson is in there. It has kind of a John Hughes kind of feel because it's about this girl, Courtney. Luke Wilson marries her mom. They move from California to Nebraska, so she's got to fit in with a new group and readjust. And she finds out that Luke Wilson was part of the Justice Society of America. He was Stripe Z, or I guess he was Stripe, but they call him Stripe Z. Like he was a sidekick to Starman. In the beginning, you see Starman, Hourman. You see Brainwave is one of the bad guys. You see Solomon Grundy, who's just this big hulking thing. And then she finds the cosmic staff, and the staff's kind of cool. It has its own personality. It connects with her. She's learning this thing. The secret comes out. I was decent enough for me to keep watching. Like it was charming and cute and fine. I was mad. I would recommend the other one. Snowpiercer premiered on TNT, the show based on the movie, based on the graphic novel. The show is also produced by Bong Joon-ho, who did the movie. And it is also, just like both of these first episodes, decent setup for these series is enough to get me invested. Like if you are into Snowpiercer, the mythology of the train, what goes on the train, I think you will like it because they add a couple of things. It starts in Chicago. They show you the beginning when everyone rushes the train and gets stuck in the tail section. Then it jumps ahead 6 years, and that's still 8 years before the movie takes place. It's 1,001 cars on this fucking train. And there's Daveed Diggs plays a homicide detective. I guess the only homicide detective on the fucking train because they got to pull him out of the tail section. There's a murder. They want him to help them. So there's a lot of good alliances and, you know, figuring out the plan. They also still have the same plan to storm the engine.
I just don't understand why they're on a train to begin with.
Well, Mr. Wilford had this ingenious idea to put everyone on a train during the Great Freeze because I don't know why. That makes sense. I don't know.
So it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. But they show some cool things like the rest of the season. They'll be outside of the train. They'll be on top of the train. There's something out there. There's a mystery. There's a murder mystery. It wasn't bad for a setup. I thought it was all right. But it's on TNT, and Stargirl will be on the CW. And Anthony, I want to show you that I'm hip. Have you heard this new Joyner Lucas Will Smith track?
I have not. No, I like Joyner Lucas though.
Joyner Lucas is great. So he did this song called Will, where the whole song is about him and how much he loves Will Smith and wants to be Will Smith. And Will Smith is, he's been a role model. His career's been a role model. So then they put out it's called Will. Then they put out a Will remix, and Will Smith is on it, and he still fucking got it, dude. He is fire, and he talks about how
fire. Wow.
It's fire, bro. He's really good. No, he goes through his whole career. He got married, had kids. He's like, you look up to me. I looked up to Muhammad Ali, Julius Erving. He's like, I did it all without cursing. He's like, rest in peace, Uncle Phil, because James Avery died, I think, last year. But it's it's just like Joyner has a verse and then Will Smith has the verse, and the hook is like, I want to be like Will. It's really good. I put the link in here. We can listen in the post show real quick if you want to hear it. It's not long, but it's a great track. Fucking Joyner Lucas is great. I love him.
Yeah, he's good. I really like. I have to listen to the track, but yeah,
See,
I
I'm
like
hip.
him a lot.
I'm hip to new music. Fuckers.
I like that you said this is fire. That's
Dude,
a young person's term.
It is fire, though. He's spitting fire. He's spitting fire.
This slaps.
This thing
slaps.
This slaps. Is that a new one? I've never heard
That is
that.
a thing. Yeah.
Holy fuck! This slap. It slaps hard. I don't know.
It slaps.
I don't know. Listener, give us a rating on the Apple Podcasts. We're up to 121, trying to get to 200, so we could be in the Rotten Tomatoes as official reviewers. You could do this on an iOS device if you're in the US, but you can also do this on a Windows computer. Just download iTunes, and you can leave us a rating and a review. Get that number up. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
They haven't kicked you off yet, Ruggs?
I'm not really doing much to get kicked off.
You can follow our Twitter at Jock and Nerdcast. I never mention it, but give us a follow. Give Rugboy a follow. Visit the show notes for this episode. jockandnerd.com/329 for all the links to everything we talked about. Hottest, get in touch. Stay subscribed. Support the show. Share this out, listener. Spread the word. Spread the geekery. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
Keep you next time.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
My balls was hot.
Ruggs, quick, give me a dick joke. We missed our quota.
Oh. Dick. How many dicks is that?
A lot.
A lot.
Oh, shit. All right, I'll allow it.
You can't put me on a spot with a dick joke.
Fuck that show.